a Christian, and my mom would always tell me like I shouldn't be with him, like I need to find someone that will help me like grow spiritually and stuff like that at the age when you're like, young, like you don't really want to listen to your parents. But now that I'm married and like I actually have a relationship with God, I can see how like how those words that Agustin and then my mom would tell me like it's so true. Like Daniel and I, we help each other grow spiritually. Like we're there for each other. He falls, I pick him up. I fall, he picks me up. And like I can't imagine being married to someone that doesn't have the same beliefs as me, especially us having could you bring my water? Especially us having kids now. It's like my hairstylist, I go to her, she said that she's not Christian, but her husband is Christian. But the way she talks about him, it's like those people that grew up in church and now don't go to church anymore, but they still say they're Christian. And they just had a kid together, and she tells me like, I think we're gonna have a lot of fights when it comes to like what our kids want to believe in and if they want to go to church or not. She's like, if my husband wants to take them to church, that's fine. Like they can go with him, but I'm not going. And I'm like, well, like you kind of your husband and you have thank you your husband and you have to be on the same page. Like like you guys are a team. You can't tell your kid one thing and then your husband tell him another thing. Like it doesn't work. And we see in the story of Samson how Samson went with this woman, and like it ended so soon. It says in the Bible back then, like their marriage celebration or whatever. Hold on, I don't want to say anything wrong. It says that I believe it says that it lasted 7 days, their marriage celebration. So like their marriage, it lasted probably like 7-8 days, because at the end, like watch, I'll just read it to you guys so I won't confuse. But let's go to Judges 14:16-17. 14. My glasses keep falling. 14, I said 16 to 7. No, I got it right here. Okay, so it says, okay, so before I say this, I want to say, so Samsung, so 30 men were picked to be like, I don't know, Samsung's bridal party, if you guys want to put it in our like language. So 30 men, he chose 30 men, and Samson gave them a riddle. And it says in the Bible, he said, I will give you 30, sorry. It says, if you solve my riddle during these 7 days of the celebration, I will give you 30 fine linen robes and 30 sets of festive clothing. But if you can't solve it, then you must give me 30 fine linen robes and 30 sets of festive clothing. So this is a riddle that Samson told them and that nobody knew the answer to, only him. So his wife wanted to know the answer, and she's like, why don't you love me? Why do you lie to me? I want to know the answer to your riddle. And she was going to tell it to the men. So now we can read what I was telling you guys, Judges 14:16-17. And it says, so Samson's wife came to him in tears and said, you don't love me, you hate me. You have given my people a riddle, but you haven't told me the answer. I haven't even given the answer to my father or mother, he replied. Why should I tell you? Is that it? No. Yeah. So she cried whenever she was with him and kept it up for the rest of the celebration. At last, on the 7th day, he told her the answer because she was tormenting him with her nagging. Then she explained the riddle to the young men. So this is what I was telling you guys, how Sorry, I'm like confusing myself. Let me collect my thoughts for a little bit. Um yeah, so she wanted the answer so she could tell the men, because the men wanted the answer. So I feel like right here, God revealed to me just like how he married this woman, and like in if we put it in our perspective, like she did not help him at all. Like their marriage just ended in destruction. Like it only lasted like 8 days. Like that was his weakness, woman, and he kept falling over and over. um, so Samson was really upset when he found out that what was her name? Um, Timnah was her name. So he was very upset. So it says in the Bible that he went to live back with his mom and dad. Like, first of all, how immature when you have a fight with your wife, you go and live back with your mom and dad. It just shows how like God wasn't leading this marriage. God was not in the center of this marriage. Like it showed how immature Samson was to go back with his parents after having an argument with his wife. So after this, like Timnah's parents gave her to another man, and then like they just didn't get back together. So fast forward to um Samson and Delilah's story now. So like I was telling you guys, Samson's weakness was woman, and like he saw this woman Delilah and he wanted to be with her. Samson would like look at the appearance, sorry, and he just wanted this woman just like he wanted the other woman. But hold on. So the Philistines knew that Samson loved Delilah and he wanted to be with her. So the Philistines told Delilah, why don't you be with him and tell us his secret of his strength? And so she would ask Samson, like, you say you love me, but you don't tell me your secret. Like, what is it? And it happened 3 times where he told her an answer and it was wrong. So so the last time, she's like, here, let me read it to you guys. So let's go to Judges 16, 15 through 17. Judges 16, 15 to 17. So after 3 times Delilah tried to get Samson to say his secret, but on the 4th time is when he finally told her. So let's read Judges 16, 15 through 17. It says, then Delilah pouted, how can you tell me I love you when you don't share your secrets with me? You've made fun of me 3 times now, and you still haven't told me what makes you strong. She tormented him with her nagging day after day until he was sick of it. Finally, Samson shared his secret with her. My hair has never been cut, he confessed, for I was dedicated to God as a Nazarite from birth. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as anyone else. So now that he finally told Delilah, like, what actually was giving him his strength, which was his hair, she finally was able to tell the Philistines what it was, and it said that she like his head laid on like her legs, and he fell asleep. And I feel like I can imagine her like her massaging his head, or like like making him go to sleep, and then that's when she said, look, they're here to attack you. And then Samson said, well, like every other time I've gotten out of it, but his strength had left him, and the Bible says that the Lord had left him. And I was talking to someone about this story. We were like saying our thoughts on it, and this person was telling me like, how dumb is Samson that like Delilah was telling him exactly what she was trying to do. She would tell him, "You're making me look like a fool in front of these people. Just tell me what it is so I could tell them." And this person was like how dumb is Samson, right? And then like God revealed to me like that we are exactly the same way. We know what's right. We know that the things we shouldn't be doing, yet we still do them. And let me drink some water. And it says how so this happened 3 times. On the 4th time is when he actually let out his secret. How like God gives us chance over chance over chance, and we still fall into the same thing. We are back where we started, and like I feel like I can relate a lot to this story. So it says when they finally captured him, Judges 16:20. 16:20. Oh, I think I have the wrong one. Okay, so it says, then she cried out, "Samson, the Philistines have come to capture you." When he woke up, he thought, "I will do as before and shake myself free." But he didn't realize the Lord had left him. So the Philistines captured him and gouged his eyes out. They took him to Gaza, where he was bound with bronze chains and forced to grind grain in the prison. So, so they had captured him already. The Lord left him, and that's like the saddest thing, that God gave him so many opportunities. Like, his life started with a miracle and it ended in destruction. Like God had a purpose for him, and God gave him so many opportunities, yet he always chose the wrong path. So okay, so if you read further, you guys can read it later, but it says how the people started getting drunk and they started screaming like, "Bring out Samson!" Like I'm sure they wanted to make fun of him and like like throw things at him. I don't know. I just imagine it like that. So it says that like I imagine this huge building with like 2 pillars and then like a bunch of people on the roof. That's how it kind of explains it in the Bible. And Samson told this guy that was with him, like, "Can you pick my hands up on the pillars? Like, I'm a little tired." And as he put his hands, he was blind, so he couldn't see. As he put his hands on there, he prayed to God to remember him and to just like give him one more chance. So let's read that, Judges 16:28. It says, "Then Samson prayed to the Lord, 'Sovereign Lord, remember me again. Oh God, please straighten me just one more time. With one blow, let me pay back the Philistines for the loss of my 2 eyes.' Then Samson put his hands on the 2 center pillars that held up the temple. Pushing against them with both hands, he prayed, 'Let me die with the Philistines.' And the temple crashed down with the Philistine rulers and all the people, so he killed more people when he died than he had during his entire lifetime." So like I love this story so much. It like it like shows us that no matter like what we do, no matter how many times we offend God, no matter like anything, in the end, if we ask God to be with us, like he'll be there, he'll come back to us. And and I don't know, I really love this story. I love how you can read a story over and over again, and every time you'll just have like a new revelation of it. So I just like how it talks about like how when you are with someone that doesn't have the same beliefs as you, like it just ends in destruction. And I feel like the youth are told this so much, but it's so true. Like I can say now that I'm married, like it's so important to have a spouse that you guys believe the same thing, that you guys can lift each other up. And I think that's just like so beautiful. So I tell you guys, I don't know if you guys are in a relationship, you guys are single or whatever, but like listen to the Bible, listen to what people say, people that are married already, people that have gone through situations of being in a relationship with an unbeliever. Like like it just doesn't end good, guys. And um I know someone that she was Christian, and she married to a person that is an unbeliever, and like, you know, they're like kind of old now, but she always says like she hates not having the support of her husband. She feels like she's kind of stuck because she wants to grow, but like her husband just like constantly pushes her down. And when we hear stories like this, it's just like an example of like, you know, not going that route, and just like waiting on God for the perfect man, for the perfect woman. And like, you know, that person is out there. Don't try to rush things. It'll come. It's probably not the right time. Or just pray for your spouse. Pray that it'll be a person that lifts you up, that helps you grow spiritually. um so yeah, that was one point that I got from the story. And the second one, how I was telling you guys that God will always be there for us no matter what. Like, I know this, I've experienced this. I grew up in church, but like a little bit ago is when I like actually started like trying, I guess you could say, to get a better relationship with God. So I want to share like this small testimony. So I feel like, you know, growing up in church, you always think like, oh well, like, you know, I'm fine, like I know the stories, like I don't know, I had that mentality. I don't know if you guys that grew up in church are the same, but like, you know, I got to a point where I just wanted something different. And it sucks to feel like you're just stuck. So God would tell me like that he wanted more of me and more of me. And yeah, I don't want to start crying. So the women were doing like this prayer chain, like for 24 hours everybody has an hour of praying. And before this, I was like already like waking up, dedicating more time to God, you know. And I saw the message, but I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna sign up because I know I'm always wrong. Like, I say I'm gonna do an hour, and then like se me pasa, I sleep in, and I just don't do it, you know. And so I didn't answer to the messenger in the women's group. And then my mom texted me and she's like, have you read like the messages? Are you gonna say an hour yet? And I was like, and I answered my mom like very disrespectful, and I apologized to her, and I was like, yeah, I did see it, but I'll do it on my own. Like, I don't have to, sorry, I burped. I was like, I'll do it on my own. I don't have to like tell anyone what time, you know? And then like after I sent that message, I felt so bad. Like, I felt like God was telling me like, you want more, but you can't sacrifice more. Like, it was just like I felt it so strong, like God telling me like um you know, I need to do my part. I need to sacrifice my time, something. And so so I started looking through the hours that were left, and all the good ones were gone. Like, you know, like 5, 6, 7. I can't do during the day because of the kids, but I wanted 5 or something. But I kept feeling like, you know, get out of your comfort zone, do something like out of the ordinary. So I decided to go with 2 in the morning. And for me, that's really hard because I love sleeping, especially because, you know, I'm with the kids all day. And then Julian wakes up at 4 in the morning. I have to give him milk. And so I sent the message and I was like, dang, how am I going to do this? But like, God would give me the strength. And there was days where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wake up tomorrow. Like, I'm really tired today. I need my sleep. And it's crazy because that day when I said that, Julian woke up at exactly 2 in the morning. So I was like, okay, God, like I know you want this for me. And I can honestly say that I've grown spiritually so much after I started doing that. Oh my God. Right. And so I want to challenge you guys today to do something different, do something out of your comfort zone, do something where you can give to God, like, and maybe it could be like your phone for an hour a day, or TV, or like waking up 30 minutes earlier. I don't know, anything, but I challenge you guys to do something different this week. And I promise you guys, you will see a change, because I did. Um, and like, it's just so beautiful when you start getting closer to God. Like, God gives you peace in anything. Like, hold on. Like, I'm not saying that you're not going to have struggles or anything, because there will be, but God just gives you so much peace no matter what you're going through, and it's just something so beautiful that you want everyone to experience that. So yeah, do you want to add anything?
Well, to add to what my wife just said, it's true. If you guys want more of God, you kind of have to go that extra mile, sacrifice some stuff, put God before anything else, and it's hard, and I've struggled with that as well. Sometimes when I'm trying to read and I'm really sleepy because I did a lot of work, or did stuff like that, and sometimes I'm like falling asleep when I'm reading or something, and then my wife looks at me is like, and then I'm like this, falling asleep, and I'm reading, and it's hard, but we have to go that extra mile. I have to sacrifice more, put God before work, before all things, so you can grow spiritually, and it's a struggle, but I mean it's something worth doing. And it's crazy how, going back to the story a little bit, like Samsung, he had his parents that kind of were telling him, why don't you pick another woman, that is not is not that woman, and he's like, no, no, I really want her, I really want her. And sometimes, how many times do our parents kind of tell us something, tell us don't do this, or kind of go this way, or trying to guide us, but we don't listen because we're so stubborn, or we kind of think we know everything. I know I was like that, but sometimes our parents are led by God to guide us in the decisions we make, and the parents kind of just let him make his errors, and how bad that marriage was, where they had problems in just the beginning, and then though his first wife, I guess, even married his best man, or his Samson's best man, and and you never know when God is going to give you that person that you need in your life, that you're going to marry. It could be when you're 35, when you're 40, when you're 30 or 25, or you never know. And just like that woman never knew that she was going to get pregnant, but God, gave her a son. Um, God's timing is. I don't have an answer for that. Sorry. God's timing is perfect, God knows exactly when you need that person. Just like if you want to look at it, like before, like I didn't even know Martina and Redna were gonna get together. That was kind of crazy out of the Martina. That was kind of out of the blue so much, because I always wondered, I wonder who Edna's gonna marry. I wonder who Martin's gonna marry, but you never knew they were gonna get together, But when God has a purpose, it's like a perfect timing that they like found each other, which is crazy. God has control over everything. So we always have to be led by God. We always have to seek him to make those decisions correctly. Not like Samson, who kind of just went by his desires, always wanted this woman. Didn't matter what his parents said. It didn't matter what anybody said. He wanted that, and that's it. And sometimes those decisions kind of lead us to destruction. We just have to be led by God in every decision. Like, for example, when we just got married and we had a little bit extra money and stuff, we bought a Challenger, and which was a lot of money. And I remember I was like, I don't know if it's me being cheap or anything, but I kind of felt like, oh man, I can't believe we're going to do this and stuff like that. And, it's a decision we should have asked God before we made it. And it sounds like something simple, buying a car, but God has control over every aspect of your life, and he will guide us. He will guide you to make the right decision, And we bought it and everything, and the payment seemed a little high. And, we kind of went with another car after we lost some money because of the the value of the car and stuff, you know. Um, and you know, I think about it sometimes that, man, we should have asked God to guide us. I wonder if we asked God on that decision, what He would have said. And now you turn it around, um, like nowadays, you know, like I don't want to make a bad decision, you know, as the head of the household either. I have to be led by God, because every decision that I make now affects my wife, affects my kids, it affects everything. And recently, we try to look for a house and stuff. We try to look for another place, and I told God, like, I don't want to do this if it's not your will, you know. And we kind of had some things that we kind of wanted, and we thought we was so specific what we wanted that we were gonna have to build our own house, because nobody else is gonna have it the way we want it, right? And we thought we were gonna have to build it, and then we we were looking for a house, and we found one that was like, that didn't have a lot of pictures. It just had like a that they were building the house. It didn't even have any finish on the roof or anything. And we went to go look at it the other day, and it was like exactly what we wanted, you know, down to the high ceilings. That had this. That had a built-in camera for a playroom. Uh, like it was crazy, you know, and I remember I told God, it's like, open the doors and like guide me in making that decision. Like, if this is not the house for us, just like, you know, close those doors. And I felt like God was like, how do you find a house like that? That's just, I feel like that was crazy. And you know, it's God kind of telling us that, yeah, that's what we want for you. And you know, when you let God take that, I guess, take that lead. And oh, before even that, I had seen a house that I was like, I like this one. And then she was like, no, it doesn't have this. My wife told me it doesn't have this, that. I was like, yeah, but it's nice in this. And I was kind of forced the situation a little bit, if you want to say like that. Kind of like Samsung, you know, wanted, I guess, settle, yeah, right, kind of settle. And I was like, but why don't I feel comfortable about it? You know what? I just won't. If it's, you know, we're not both in the right decision, so we're not gonna do it. Then we found that house that was like that. When we saw it, it was probably listed like 10 minutes. What, like 10 minutes? Yeah. And then we found the house, you know. But I see how I kind of try to force the situation there and try to get that other house when God has something better for you, you know. And that's kind of like sometimes the situation with us, you know. We try to force things. We try to kind of, like, if you want to see a puzzle, the piece doesn't fit in there, but you try to fit it in there. And you know, but it's not something that God has for you, you know. God has that perfect piece that's going to align perfectly. And we just have to be led by God, and have that discernimiento. And when it's things that are for God, and when it's things that, you know, the enemy is trying to make us fall or something, we have to have that discernimiento and be led by the Spirit, and know when those situations are something that God wants for us, and when something that He doesn't want for us. Um, and
I wanted to say something. I don't know if we're taking up too much time. Um, Today, my mom shared with me this story of some pastors. I'm not too sure exactly where they live, but I know it's close to Nogales. I don't know. I think they went over there, like, I think it was last year or maybe the year before. But my mom has been staying in touch with this woman, and and so it's kind of a long story, but I'll make it short. So there was this family that came from Oaxaca, I want to say, and they were brought over to where they live, and they said that they were treated horrible, like they felt like slaves, you know. Like, they would be out in the fields, and they have two small children, and their children would be with them all day in the sun, and then they would go back. Like, they would live no AC, just like a room on the ground. And so it was just a family. They were looking for help, and they were on the side of the road, asking for a ride, because they wanted to, you know, get out of there, go somewhere else. And they were asking for a ride all day, and se dieron por vencidos. They gave up. And so this woman's husband, the woman that my mom stays in touch with, her husband was driving by, and as he drove by this family, he felt really strong from God saying, like, you need to go help this family. And he said he felt it so strong. He had to go back, and he stopped. And he said the family explained to them their situation, and he's like, get in my car, like my wife and I can help you. You can we can give you guys food, you know, tomorrow you guys can head out, or we can help you guys. um and I think they've been living with them for a week, I want to say. But this woman was telling my mom, just like, it's crazy how, like, these people really needed them. Like, God sent them this family. And if you look at it in, like, you know, like, for me, when my mom was telling me this story, I was like, that is so creepy. How is this man just gonna pick up a family on the side of the road, bring them into his house? This couple has 2 girls. And I'm like, how are they gonna bring this family with their 2 girls? Like, my mom tells me that this family already does not have a lot of money. Like, my mom said their house, it, like, you know, you can tell they don't have a lot of money. But I'm like, if they're barely making it to feed them and their children, how are they gonna feed a whole nother family? You know, like, especially like there's a husband there. You don't know what that husband can do to their daughters. And like, you know, me, like, my sinning mind, I just started thinking of, like, you know, how could they do that? But this woman was telling my mom how right before they left Oaxaca, they accepted God in their hearts. And like, it's crazy. Like, they gave their kids clothes, food, and like, they're all trying to help together in that house. And like, they've helped them, like, get close to God. They helped them grow spiritually. And I was telling my mom, it's crazy how this man was driving by and God literally told him to pick that family up. And it's because God had a purpose for that family. But I told my mom, that is so beautiful. Like, I want to be so close to God that God could tell me to do that. And like, the thought of, like, you know, what's going to happen won't even cross my head, because I know God is in control. Like, that is so beautiful. And like, I know we can all get there, but like, I still think about it, and I'm like, that's really creepy. I don't know if I could do that. Like, bring it, you know, like, it's just like my mind. It doesn't go that far, because like, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I think you guys get what I'm saying, but like, you know, I want to be like that. I want to be able to do something, and God tells me, and I don't even think about it. If God tells me, give this person this, and I could give it without it hurting me, without it, like, you know, if you know God told you, it's for a reason. And God is gonna help you guys. God has a purpose for everything. I don't know why I thought of that story right now, but I think we're done. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to the story, like
Your thoughts or something?
yeah, a testimony you guys thought of while you guys were hearing, or like something you guys like from the story of Samson. I don't know. I'd like for you guys to comment something.
I mean, I like how you guys pointed out how Samson was, very stubborn in the way he was viewing things. Like, his wife kept trying to, like, it was obvious what she was trying to do that whole time, but he just let it continue and go on. And that is true. That's how we live our lives sometimes. Sometimes we know that something's not going to benefit our lives, but we still continue doing it regardless. But yeah, that's the part I enjoyed a lot, because I feel like that little section there is something a lot of people might miss sometimes. They might just be focused on the fact that, oh, she's just trying to get rid of his power and just trying to kill him. But God put that little message behind it in that little section as well.
Mhm.
And I think you guys did a great job, by the way. Good job, Martita. I really enjoyed your guys' message.
I'm glad you guys did. I hope I didn't confuse you guys.
No, it's good.
Anybody else wanna comment anything?
I do. Just give me one moment. Let me just return this wallet really quick.
Okay. Anybody else? Well, Edna.
Wallet.
Oh, but honestly, like, I've heard Daniel preach before, share a message, but I heard Martita share a message, and honestly, it flowed out really well. Even though you may feel like you've gotten stuck, but I mean that's natural. That happens to everybody. But I think the message came out really well, and I think you did a great job preparing it.
Thank you. Well, this is my first time ever that I've like
Yeah.
shared a word. I'm like a very, very shy person, so it was really hard for me, but
Yeah.
I know it was God talking to me because
Yeah,
I
of
know
course.
my own strength. Like I can't even go up to someone and say hi.
Let this motivate you though to keep going. It was really good, honestly. I'm looking forward to possibly hearing more from you both. In the future. I mean, you say no, but I mean it's evident that you guys are, putting the time and effort with God first and foremost. So came out really good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I agree with you guys. I think it's kind of like what you guys were talking about, the puzzle piece and all that stuff. I think it's very hard for us to, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes we try to force. Okay, so the other day I was with Victoria and she was working on putting a puzzle together, right? And I noticed that she would get certain pieces and she was trying to force them together. And like I would look at her and I'm like, girl, you can't, that's not the right piece for that puzzle. And sometimes like that's what we try to do, we try to force pieces, or in your case, Martita, you try to force yourself to back away from these situations because obviously it's out of your comfort zone, but God has a different puzzle piece in mind. At the end of the day, he has the final image of it, and it all depends on whether we're going to be able to create his puzzle or we're going to try to keep creating our own puzzle and keep messing up, so I think it's I really enjoyed this message. I think it was very helpful. Like, what a coincidence that there's a lot of older ones on today. I know a lot of people are off, but it happened to be that a lot of the ones that are on right now are older ones. So it was a perfect message. Those of us that are on here was because we needed it. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story of Samson as well. I find every time that I read it, I don't understand how this man could be so dumb to get tricked by this woman after seeing plenty of times that she was betraying him, and he would still try to like tell her the answer, and that's how it is with us, our life, our sinful nature. We see how much it destroys us, and yet we still fall into it every single time, and thank God that we have a God who helps us, who picks us up again after time, and we're just able to stay motivated, just trust the fact that God has a plan for every single one of us. So I loved it, and good job, you guys.
Anybody else? Rach, Javi, Anaim, anyone?
Carlos, Ashley.
Carlos, Ashley, Esme, Eddie. Nobody? 5, 4. All right. You want to pray? Or you want-
Yeah,
So let's close this out with a prayer. Unless anybody wants to say anything more. No? It's because I keep seeing Anai's screen like go. I don't know if she wants to say something. Or is it just me trying to see the screen?
No, I don't know.
I see it keep going on green, so I don't know if she's trying to say something.
Pues no, I mean, I don't have anything more to add, but como dicen los Sanata, I mean, it was something very beautiful. Yes, como dicen ellos, it was very motivating because it's true. Our stubbornness and everything always brings us down to a point where we stumble ourselves, porque we just don't let ourselves be guided, and we see the signs, we see the correct path, but we keep letting ourselves stumble por tercos, porque no queremos escuchar. Our pride is what overcomes everything, and I think that's what Samson had a very hard time overcoming, and not only in our relationships and everything, but in our goals and everything in life. And I thought it was a very beautiful message, and I think it's not just for the elders, it's not just for the teenagers, but hasta los niños pueden ver, pues que even in a kid's point of view, they'll look at it and they can be like, oh, well, they were telling him not to do that, but he still did it. And it's a beautiful story that speaks to all ages, and it was really, really good, guys. And como dice Gustavo, thank you so much for sharing, and we hope to hear more from you guys. I know that God is working in great ways, and I know that He's gonna keep doing so much more. It's just the beginning, and just how we're all growing together, and how you guys are growing in your matrimony and your relationship with Him is just gonna be beautiful. Thank you for your message.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna close it out with a prayer. Thank you, God, for this day, Father. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be able to share this word, my husband and I, Father. Thank you, God, for each and every person that is here today listening, Father. I know it's a little bit of us, but like you have chosen the perfect people, Father. And I ask that you protect those people that are camping right now, that they can glorify you throughout this weekend, and the words come out of their mouth, the relationships they form, Father. And I ask that you help us this week. I've challenged everyone to do something different for you, Father, to sacrifice something. And whatever it is they're going to do, Father, I ask that you be with them and that you show them that you're there with them, just like you have showed me every single day when I get up to spend some time with you, Father. I know you're the same God, and just how you've done so many miracles in my life, just how you showed me so many things, I know you will show it to each and every one of these people, Father. I ask that you protect them, Father, and that this word can stay in their hearts. And if they do decide to read this Samson story, that you can reveal something different to them, Father. I want to praise you, Father, and all glory and honor to you. Amen.